I'm having the worst day, so I'm not even gonna apologize for being in the basement with the shitty lighting and the shitty sound. I just spent like 3 hours cleaning dog piss out of a ball pit. Ryder's not gonna be in the video with me because I spent too long cleaning. Now he's at a birthday party that I wasn't invited to. So, where to begin with this story? So, basically, Ryder he was supposed to be born September 1st. He was not. He was early. He was born August 19th. I'm not good at math. I don't know how many weeks early. When I got pregnant, I was about 90 pounds. So that's a different story time. I'm not gonna get into that. I weigh 5'2", so it's not hard for me to get to 90 pounds, okay? But I weighed 90 pounds. The highest weight I got to while being pregnant was 120. Which, actually, you know, that's 30 pounds. I'd say that's pretty good. The last ultrasound I went in for was August 18th. So I went in, they did an ultrasound, then like a doctor came in and told me that I needed to go to the Royal Alex, which was the hospital that I was delivering Ryder at here in Edmonton. And that's usually where people do deliver. They've got like the women's clinic. I wouldn't recommend going there, honestly, and I'll get into that in a bit further on into the story. But so I go to the Royal Alex. I get Kelsey to go with me and my mom, because me and Ryder's dad, if you don't know me, we are not together. That is also a different story time on its own, which I will probably make one day, because whatever, why not. But so Kelsey and my mom came with me, and they said that Ryder had dropped like a bunch of weight within just like a week. So he went from what I think was a little less than 20 pounds to 4 pounds in a very short amount of time. So they put this thing in me that was supposed to induce me. It was like this metal spike thing in my vagina. Now, like, when I thought they were going to induce me, when they had said, we're going to induce you, I thought, okay, I'm gonna get like a shot of something, like they're gonna give me like a needle of something. No, no, no. They stuck a like spiky metal thing that was like those birth control things people get all the way up into my cervix, like manually. This bitch, cervix, hand in there with this metal thing. She even said when it was gonna come out, so I assumed this thing was staying in forever. Like, I assumed it was gonna dissolve for some reason, because I'm stupid. But so they send me home, whatever. About an hour after I get home, while watching Baywatch, Kelsey slept over, so it was my dad, my mom, my brother, and Kelsey. And my dad and my mom were not together at this point. We were all living together, but they were not together, like together. So my mom was sleeping in the basement with me, and so was Kelsey. So I started having contractions, and I was like, you know what, these aren't even bad. Like, my cocky ass was like, girls who give birth are such pussies, this feels like nothing. I wake up multiple times throughout the night in excruciating pain. And I finally convinced my mom to take me back to the hospital because I was in a lot of pain. So I get there, another doctor comes and checks. You know, I, like, throughout my pregnancy had like a good handful of people finger me, and not in a sexual way, just in a I'ma check your cervix way. She checks, she says I'm still not like dilated enough. Or so she's like, I'm gonna send you home and I'm gonna give you a morphine shot. So those of you who again don't know me, I get really scared when I have to take drugs. Right after she gives it to me and she leaves the room, I look at Kelsey and my mom and I'm like, I'm having a heart attack, I'm gonna die. Well, I calm myself down, nobody really cares when I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm like scared because whatever, I'm just a dumb bitch. No one cares about me. But so we go home, whatever, and like a couple hours pass where I'm screaming. Like, I am hunched over in pain, can't move, and I'm like, I am like, this baby is coming. So like my mom, and remember what I said earlier about her and my dad not being together, and they had not been together for about 3 months. So remember that, remember that. So I wake my mom up, I wake Kelsey up, and my hoop just fell out of my ear. I'm done. I wake my mom up, I wake Kelsey up. My mom's like, I'm just gonna go shower. So I'm like, okay, well, if my mom's gonna shower, I have time to, you know, do something with myself to like occupy me, get my mind off of it. I put my extensions in. I put eyelashes on. I did foundation. I did everything. Eyeshadow, eyeliner, everything. Kelsey also did all this minus the extensions. I don't think she was wearing extensions anymore at this point. Her hair was just naturally nice on its own. So we get ready and take this in. My mom said she was just gonna shower, right? No. I'm screaming, like holding on to things on the floor, screaming in pain. And this house was not very like well built. You could hear me in every room of this house. It wasn't quiet. It wasn't like soundproofed in any way, shape, or form. So my parents could hear me. I go upstairs to find my mom because I'm like, what is taking her so long? Is she doing her makeup? My mom and my dad are in their room, which they have not slept in together for 3 months prior to this, having sex. Straight up intercourse. Loud as fuck. And I'm standing outside the door going, hello? I'm giving birth. No, long story short, they finished first before she came out. Then she showered. I hate them. So everybody gets in the car. We get there to the hospital. They emit me, finally. They keep me. They tell me that they're gonna watch me now because I am like almost fully dilated. Like I'm almost at the point to giving birth to Ryder. My parents had the bright idea to invite Ryder's father, which is not what I wanted, so that was stressing me out because I didn't want him to be there. But my parents, they liked him. They used to like him. At this point, they still liked him, so they invited him. He was in the waiting room with my dad and my brother, and then me and my mom and Kelsey, we went and walked down to the food court and got Tim Hortons. I was eating like a bagel and stuff, and my dad comes in to check to see how long we're gonna be, and he goes, Jewel, stop eating. You're gonna shit the bed. So I immediately am like, oh no, stop eating. And I'm starving. Like I haven't eaten since they induced me, basically, because it's hard to eat when you're in excruciating pain. And my friend Emma and her now fiance Alec and their son Aiden come to the hospital, and they come, you know, say hi, whatever. And while they're there, I start feeling like worse than I've already felt all day. And I'm trying to talk to them. I'm trying to hold a conversation with them. But like I'm squeezing Kelsey's hand really hard and I'm in a lot of pain. So then the nurses come in, they're checking me out. They're like, oh, okay, well, we need to pull that thing out now. So Emma and Alex step out and they're like looking for the thing that they put in me, but they can't find it. So then they're like, you just need to open more. So we're gonna pin you down because you keep moving and we're gonna pull this thing out. And what nobody told me was that I was gonna be a lot more sensitive down there because of the inducing thing. It makes you feel a lot more. So I'm laying there, morphine's not doing anything for me. Kelsey's pinning me down. The nurses and this doctor are pinning me down and they're trying to scoop this out. The doctor's eyes go really wide and she goes, I'm touching your son's head. And I go, that's cute. So then she finds it on Ryder's head and she finally pulls it out. I like release, I'm sitting there, I'm like all in pain. She leaves, Emma and I'll come back in, I'm talking to them some more, blah blah blah, and I start to feel that really intense pain again. I go to the bathroom with Kelsey and I squat to pee and I start screaming like holy hell. Not high-pitched screams like, oh, I just seen a ghost. These were deep groans, like, oh, like really loud, but really low, like growly screams. So we leave the bathroom after, like, I'm giving birth to Ryder in this toilet. I didn't pee. Nothing came out. Like, I was just screaming over this toilet. I go and lay in my bed, and my nurse comes around the corner, big smile on her face, like, I thought that was you. And I was like, because they haven't checked on me in a long time, basically. So, like, it had been a long time, and every time they did check on me, it was never to say that they were giving me the epidural or to say that they were checking my cervix. Even when they had pulled out the thing an hour before that, like, they had never said that I was ready yet. They just kept saying that they were getting my room ready for me to go in to give birth in. But, like, they had never given me the epidural. They didn't give me any more morphine. They gave me a second inducing thing at some point, one that went through an IV, to hurry it up. And when they did that, they, like, basically never checked on me unless it was just to ask how I was feeling, but never really checked on me. So, by the time Emma and Alec had got there and they had pulled out the other inducing thing, I was, I guess, fully dilated and nobody noticed because I was giving birth. So they take me, they start wheeling me up to this room. I'm screaming the entire way there. Like, everybody in this hospital, my family in the waiting room can hear me screaming, and they're far. So Emma and Alec are in the waiting room too with my family, and I get into the room and I'm like, where is the epidural? And they're like, well, it's too late. He's coming out now. So I'm sitting there like, kill me. And yeah, so I keep saying I'm not gonna push, I'm not going to give birth without it. And the nurse is like, this is a different nurse now, I have a different one, but she's like, you're gonna give birth. It's your body that's gonna push. You literally, like, mentally don't do anything. Your body will push on its own. And I was like, well, I'm gonna die. So I'm screaming this whole time. There's like a sign in this hospital room that says no swearing. And I'm like, how are you not supposed to in this kind of pain? So I'm screaming. They won't give me the epidural. It's too late because nobody checked on me. Nobody gave a shit about me the entire time I was there. So everything is sweating because I am in so much pain. Like, to be in that much pain that you are sweating is insane because I wasn't doing any physical work. I was in so much pain that I was sweating. I hadn't even started pushing or anything yet. So they tell me not to push yet. I still have a centimeter to go until I'm, like, at the point where I can push. So they're like, don't push yet, but my body is like, let this thing out. So I am crying, like, and not haha funny crying. I'm crying so hard that, like, Kelsey is standing over the bed also crying but trying to look away from me because she doesn't want to, like, you know, worry me, right? She doesn't want to, like, make it worse for me. So Kelsey's crying, I'm crying. My mom, this bitch, is in the corner of the hospital room on FaceTime with my dad. And she's not holding my hand. Kelsey's holding my hand right now, and I'm starting to have to push. So, like, she's not holding my hand, but they're, like, getting me ready to push. But Kelsey's there, and she's in the corner of the hospital room on FaceTime with my dad. And you hear my dad go, can you tell Jewel to hurry up? I'm tired. What? So then she comes over to me and she goes, Jewel, do you mind, like, speeding this up? Your dad's really tired, and Tim, we'll call him Tim. We'll call Ryder's dad Tim. Tim is asleep. I don't give a fuck. I literally get so mad. I'm crying like, what is wrong with you? Get off FaceTime. You're supposed to be holding my hand. I'm gonna die. I'm dying. Like, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was dying. So then Kelsey's, like, trying to calm me down. She's, like, dabbing me with a towel. She's trying to keep me looking pretty, which I was not, by the way. She was trying to keep me looking okay. She's, like, trying to, like, keep the sweat off my face. She passes my mom the towel, and they're like, my mom hangs up on the phone and she's holding my hand finally, and, like, it's time for me to push. And I am crying, like, halfway through this. I am crying, and Kelsey's crying. And then I kind of get used to the pain a bit, because I stopped crying and I fell asleep at some point, and the nurse had to, like, snap me awake. So I'm pushing, and there's this male nurse and this female nurse. The doctor who's supposed to be delivering the baby isn't there yet. So I'm pushing, and it's just these two nurses, and you could tell this male nurse this was like his first time delivering a baby. He did not want to look. Granted, I fully understand. I didn't want to look. I didn't look. The entire time I was looking at Kelsey or the ceiling. I looked at nothing else. And so I would pop my head up every now and then halfway through and be like, what if I shit myself? And the male nurse and the female nurse would just start laughing. And I would be like, dead serious, because my dad's voice just kept going off in my head, like, Julie, you're gonna shit the bed. And this nurse, the female nurse, goes, I would be surprised if you didn't, so like, it's fine, just let it all go, like, let it out. And I didn't shit, by the way, not even a fart, so good for me. But I didn't. So the male nurse just keeps laughing. He like refuses to look. He's like looking at Kelsey, and then I realize he's looking at Kelsey, and I look at Kelsey, and she's just wide-eyed, eyes on my vagina, just like. So I keep pushing, and then I'm like, so when do you guys yank this kid out? And then they start laughing again, and again, I'm dead serious. Like, these are all questions that they expect you to ask, you know, like when they ask you if you need to ask any questions during any other doctor's appointment. And I literally, every doctor's appointment was like, I don't have any questions. I know how everything works. No. So they don't, you know how in movies when they like, the shoulders are out and they pull your kid out for you? They don't do that in real life, so be aware of that. You're gonna have to push this whole baby out like on your own till it's like fully out. So this may be TMI for you, but because I didn't get the epidural, I could feel everything. Everything. So I don't know what the part of the vagina is called where like the dick is, like goes, like that part of your vagina, like not far back anymore, not in the cervix anymore. But when Ryder was in that part of my yeah, I could feel his arms and his legs and his head like moving. So after about that feeling, he finally pops out. The doctor's in at this point. He like has Ryder out. They're taking him over to get oxygen. He's getting oxygen. He starts making a little noise. They bring him back over, and that is basically it of the horror part of everything. And obviously the best day of my life because I love Ryder. I have PTSD. I will honestly probably never have a kid again because it was that terrifying. And so yeah, it was basically it. Everybody came in seeing Ryder. He weighed 4 pounds. He was not his finest looking when he came out. He looked like a little alien old man. That's my labor story. I thought I'd take a break from making or trying to make beauty videos since I'm ugly. So I was like, let's just do a story time. And you know what? For my first story time, this may have been a little much, but what's done is done. I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna upload it anyways because I am having that bad of a day. I literally could not think of any other story to tell than this one. And you know what? It's probably like my most asked about story these days. So that is my personal take on it. Ryder is beautiful. So thanks for watching. If you liked it and you want to see more story times, or if you have any questions, obviously you can comment them. Like, subscribe if you want. I'm shaking the camera, sorry. Yeah, so